Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today, I'll be giving a first-time reaction to Live and Let Live by Peter Gabriel. I gotta say, it's always a fun time getting to react to Peter Gabriel because so much of his song, his art, his messaging is exactly in line with what I try to preach on this channel, with peace, love, and positivity. It feels like he's very well connected to the human condition and spreads positive messages everywhere and creates really dynamic and I would say eclectic music. So there's a lot to look forward to here, and this request came special from Wendy the Fearless. So thank you very much, Wendy, for the donation request today as well as this selection. It really means the world to me and helps guide the direction for the reactions I do over here. With that said, I'm excited to check this out, so let's jump in. Oh, he's already playing with the swelling, right? And the spatial kind of component.
Just how much does it have to hurt before you let go the pain? And just how deep does it have to be before you yearn to be free again? Every wound can lock you away. You can walk or you can choose to remain. But every day can pass you by while you were holding the key. And this is how it turns.
Oh, I like that melody.
This is what we do.
That was kind of unexpected, actually. How did we get to this place? Hold on.
Holding the key. This is how it turns.
Ah. And the strings now.
This is what we do. This is who we are. When we forgive, we can move on. Release all the shackles, one by one. We belong to the burden till it's gone.
I love these lyrics. We belong to the burden until it's gone. Right? When we have inner turmoil, when there is conflict, it consumes us, and then we become a slave to that thing, when in reality we don't have to be. We can solve the issue on our own. We have the key, so to speak, whether it's an interpersonal issue or literally relating to the self. Oftentimes we try to avoid our own issues and avoid that confrontation, when in reality that would be the very best solution to what's at play. So that line earlier of you can walk or choose to remain, you have multiple decisions. A lot of how we deal with our life comes down to how we choose to respond to the things that happen to us. I like that.
Till it's gone.
Yeah.
Just how long do you want to hate? With all that anger to burn, you dream of revenge, and you dream a reply. You hope that someday we'd learn. Every time you think of that hurt, it's spins around in your mind with an eye for an eye, again and again, until the whole world is blind.
Right. Yeah, there's the famous quote from Mahatma Gandhi, an eye for an eye leaves the entire world blind. And I think now more than ever, people need to understand the message and why that is often so true, because it is so easy to roll around in the mud with somebody who, let's say in the context of a conversation, wants to use harsh language and low blow after low blow, and it emotionally tracks that you want to respond in a way, in kind, to make it feel like, wow, you're not just being taken advantage of, you're not being abused, and you're standing up for yourself. It's logical, it's emotional, yet it doesn't serve the greater purpose, which is your own which is your own inner peace, which is the calming of the conversation, rather than being retaliatory or responsive to the negativities of the external world. Remaining calm within the self serves the conversation in a way that you can diffuse it more easily. I think it serves a practical function, but it also helps maintain your groundedness in who you are, rather than constantly being affected by your external environment. Because if your external environment, for whatever reason, is highly volatile, you wouldn't want to become emotionally volatile with it, right? If you have values and care of yourself, you will do what you can to leave your inner world as peaceful as you can. So instead of like engaging in the muddiness of the world, be better than it. Don't engage in those same problematic behaviors, because guess what? Inadvertently, you're also signaling that that initial behavior, even if yours is retaliatory, is now tacitly approved. If somebody else uses a slur against you and then you respond in kind, well, now it's fair game. And even though it's not logical, because the first person to bring those, problematic terms to the table wasn't you, but now they can feel justified and vindicated in continuing at the very least, because you were fine to do so as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's not make things more problematic if we can.
The whole world is blind. This is how it turns. This is what we do. This is who we are. When we forgive, we can move on.
Yeah. And taking the high road, it is so hard to do, and being forgiving. I have a hard time being forgiving, even though logically I know it's the right thing. But when I'm emotional and things are heated, it can be very hard to want to forgive, because I would want to be understood first. And if I feel like I'm not being understood, then I don't want to show that forgiveness, because then I'll feel like the situation is an ongoing thing, that it's going to continue. But at the end, if somebody wrongs you or whatever it is in the situation, being able to forgive in an active way is an effort towards reaching your peace, because it depends on what's more valuable to you. Would you rather be right and vindicated, or would you rather be peaceful? And that's a trade-off one can make.
Release all the shackles, one by one. We belong to the burden till it's gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lay the burden down. I'm gonna lay the weapons down. Lay the burden down. It's William Blake who inks his sting, drawing out Martin Luther King. Tutu and Madiba saying rainbows do exist. The voice of the elders coming through the mist. Lay the burden down, lay the weapons down, lay the burden down, lay the weapons down. It takes courage to learn to forgive, to be brave enough to listen, to live and let live.
Wow.
It takes courage to start to forgive, to be brave enough to listen, to live and let live, let live.
I mean, he said it better than I could. And bravery, man. It is so easy to do things that are easy to us, things that are just our instinct, right? Retaliatory. That is the easy thing to do. It is harder. It takes more bravery. It takes more courage to do something that, even though in the moment emotionally doesn't feel right, would actually serve the conversation, the conflict. Because everybody feels like if I'm wrong, then I'm the problem here. It's okay to be wrong as well. It's okay to listen. It's okay not to speak up in certain moments and to live and let live. Allow preferences to be different. If something is not harming you directly, do you have to have the argument? Can other people live in their lives as well comfortably? It's okay if people agree to disagree. Oftentimes the things that we agree and disagree about in this world today, they are, to put it, I guess, more like a Gen Z might, first world problems. We have it pretty good. Not saying things are perfect and things can be improved, but it starts at the core as well. And if we can live and let live, lead with trust, lead with honesty, bravery, love, I mean, all of the good stuff that we need, it would just make things simpler and more peaceful. And that's what I'm looking to do.
Enough to listen, to live and let live, let live, let live, let live, let live and let live. It takes courage to learn to forgive, to be brave enough to listen, to live and let live, let live. Live and let live, let live.
This is massive. Oh my gosh. Oh. Dude, that song became huge at the end. Oh man. The chorus, the many layers of vocals, the strings, the symphony. It all came to a head there. Live and let live. That message just getting repeated. And it's a beautiful message. Live and let live. You know, I don't know where I initially heard that quote. It was many years ago at this point. Probably sometime in high school. At least 15 years I probably have heard this quote at this point. Around about there. The specific number doesn't matter, but I've always held this idea near and dear to me because so often in this world people are meddling in each other's business when they really don't need to be. They can be focusing on the self building their lives, their relationships for the betterment of society, rather than cherry picking problems everywhere and complaining ad nauseum of the things that they hold dear. And oftentimes there is this weird conflation with something that is directly affecting you versus indirectly affecting you, and people view things that are not directly affecting them as still being problems in society, which, yes, that is true at a high level, but you don't want to overly compensate in that regard, because if you are dictating the course of others' lives, if they themselves do not find fault in the way that they're living life, for example, then you are just overly exerting your preferences on them with no idea if you are objectively correct or not. And oftentimes the same idea that people live by, being like moral arbiters, implies that they are the wielder of objective truth. And to me, my view is that often humans do not know what objective truth is. Whether it exists or not is almost besides the point, because we intrinsically are fallible. I think that bears out logically. I think we observe it practically. And if we can accept that we have failures, that we make mistakes, that we are imperfect, there's fallibility to us, then we can also recognize that maybe the way I view the world is not the way to view the world, and we can live and let live. Of course, with all of these, axiomatic ideas, there's rules, there's exceptions to the rule, and situations where what you may be saying about live and let live doesn't make sense in the same regard. So, there's a value hierarchy, and we can have the more nuanced discussion, but at an extremely high level, if we can distill the conversation into something about focus on the self, improve your life, improve the life of others around you, and everybody does this, I think you are living then to serve everybody else, which also inadvertently serves yourself and society as a whole. Living and letting others live by allowing others to live. You can give the gift of allowing people just to be. Yeah. Allowing others just to be. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. And if everybody went down this route and we all proceeded ethically and we gave people our honest opinions on things and moved forward in, considerate, empathetic, but again, also honest ways, so much of the world's issues, the conflicts interpersonally, even personally, I think slowly but surely go away. But those are just my opinions, my takes. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought about the track here today as well. There was a lot to enjoy, a lot to speak about, but man, I love Peter Gabriel. I'm down to do more reactions to him, so if you are interested in requesting Peter Gabriel, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.